Hello everyone, welcome back to the Ochakde show. I'm your host Sachin Syal and I'm a 16-year-old award-winning entrepreneur from the Bay Area. I'm the co-founder and CEO of 3doshas.com. We're an Ayurvedic wellness and lifestyle company. If you're new here, this is a talk show or podcast where I interview entrepreneurs, executives, and inspiring individuals from all walks of life so we can learn from their stories and level up ourselves. The purpose of the show is to inspire you to go for it, which is what Ochakde means.
Thank you. All right.
Today's special guest is Bracken Darrell. Let me tell you some more about him. Bracken is the president and CEO of Logitech, a company manufacturing computer peripherals and software. Yep, all this beautiful stuff and this and these.
Well, that's right
here.
We're not really using this, but it looks like we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, in my library at school, I was in the library at lunch trying to prepare for this interview. I looked around, the mice, the keyboard, everything was Logitech, and I'm like. I'm interviewing the CEO of this company that my school uses all the time. This is going to be awesome.
That's awesome.
Thank you so
That's great
much
to hear. Well, that's terrific. Excellent.
Yeah. Let's just get on to the first question.
Sure.
NRPR Group is one of the leading independent public relations and creative marketing agencies in the U.S. radically committed to reshaping and elevating the global PR industry. Headquartered in Beverly Hills, California, NRPR serves marquee businesses from startups to Fortune 500 companies, Fortune 50 CEOs, fintech, health tech, sports, entertainment, enterprise, software, mobile, and consumer products industries. Now, on to the Ochakde Show episode. Actually, first, how are you doing today? How's your day?
I'm terrific. I played basketball this morning, and I've had the usual kind of roller coaster day that I have. So it's been good.
How much on a scale of 0 to 10? How much do you love basketball?
10.
10.
Yeah, I play it more than watch it, but I love both.
Nice. Who's your favorite player?
I would say, look, we're in the Bay Area, so I need to say Steph Curry.
Steph Curry, yeah.
But Ja Morant would be up there.
Ja Morant, yeah, he's good.
He's amazing.
Okay,
Absolutely.
This is a tough one. It might be controversial.
Okay.
LeBron or Jordan? Who's the GOAT?
Jordan.
Jordan?
Yeah.
That's what I think too.
Yeah.
I have to say it.
Yeah, although I really respect LeBron. I loved when LeBron went back to Cleveland to win a championship. After he'd already won one, I thought that was the essence of great global sports citizenship. Just amazing. But Jordan's the GOAT.
Totally.
Sorry, LeBron, if you're watching.
If he's watching this, yeah. Okay. First question. Can you give us a quick history of Logitech from when it started to today?
Yeah, Logitech was born in October 2nd, 1981, and it was originally created, like so many startups are, as something different. So it started as a software company, and within a year they found their way to making mice for big companies like HP and later Apple and IBM, which became Lenovo. So they started as that, and then they like most companies that start and hit something, they hit it with the mouse, and they made almost nothing mice for the first 17 years, 15, 16, 17 years. They did other things, but they didn't really work very well. And then finally they found their way to the second big product, which seemed very risky all the way up, and that was the keyboard. And they launched the keyboard, and that was a hit. And then they just surrounded the PC with products, and that's the story of the early days of Logitech. In the later days, after I came, they were a little different, but basically we've always expanded into new things.
You got it. I think Logitech is an incredible company. Like we were talking about, everything. Whenever I do interviews with influential and remarkable people like you, I ask people I don't even know. This isn't really a question, but I asked everyone at my school, almost everyone, have you heard of Logitech? They're like, dude, are you kidding me? Of course I know what Logitech is. And then I'm actually a podcast host. I'm interviewing the CEO, and they jump up and down. So
that's nice to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Logitech is peripherals and software. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, we are. We started out as really a mouse company, like Disney or something, and then we've evolved along, and we've made more and more categories of stuff, and we've moved into services and software the last 6 or 7 years, and I think our future will be more and more of that.
Got it. Okay, let's move on to the next question. So I'm a CEO of myself, of a wellness and lifestyle company.
Good.
But to be a CEO of a tech company that did over $5 billion in revenue in 2022 is a much bigger deal. So what's your favorite part of being a CEO? And then also, you can pass this question, but what's your not so favorite part of being a CEO?
I would say my favorite part of being a CEO is just being part of the creation of things.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's new products, a new culture, a new process, it just being a part of that and getting to see so many people unlock their own passion or their creativity. So it's really, really a super people-oriented job, and I love that. And I think if you love people and you love the act of creating and doing things that other people haven't or you don't think they have before, there's no better job in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Worst thing about being a CEO.
Well, not worst thing, just not so favorite part. You don't have to say the worst.
Not
thing.
so favorite. There aren't too many. I mean, I really like what I do, and
exactly.
It's super fun. And I would say if there's anything that I don't like, it'd be something administrative. Which I started my career as an accountant, but I was never very good at it. So the more administrative it gets, the less I like it. But that I also enjoy that sometimes too. It's just the discipline of having to do things that you don't really love to do is good for you. It's like taking your vitamins or eating healthy food. It's just a good thing to do.
Mm-hmm. We talked about this a little earlier about the revenue of Logitech in 2022 was over $5 billion. How can a tech company achieve that much success in numbers?
Well, you have to realize that the reason why people talk about tech is because I think you can scale anything.
Mm-hmm.
You can scale a hair salon. You
Mm-hmm.
can scale. But there's a magic to scaling tech because once you find something that delivers a kind of a step up in benefit, being able to create it and repeat it thousands and then millions and then 10 million and then in our case 200 million times a year, that's why tech is so exciting. And when you get into software, when you look at things like Google or Microsoft, where the thing they're repeating millions and now billions and even trillions of times a day it's bits and bytes that take up no space anywhere except in a virtual world, a little bit somewhere. So I think the scaling is what's really remarkable about tech, and it enables you to the scale benefits enable you to create some very large businesses.
Yeah. So for some people that might not know how I think everyone knows my audience is teens in Silicon Valley, but can you explain what it means to be a tech company and how a tech company can scale and that type of stuff?
Yeah, I think I would say I'll just oversimplify it. There are two kinds of tech companies. There are tech companies like Google and Facebook, Meta,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and they don't really make physical things much. They mostly make virtual things, and the virtual things they make are coded, and so they're basically creating software experiences. Search, for example, that is super easy to scale. And so it's not free to scale, but it's really easy to scale because once you put it available out there, as more people bring in, you add servers, and it also has a scaling effect, a natural effect, a network effect, where the more people use it, the more people use it. The other kind of tech is like what we do most of, which is we create physical things that enable you to interact with a virtual world. And those things are harder to scale. It's a harder business. I mean, generally speaking, hardware is viewed as kind of a harder business to scale. But it's also very scalable if you get it right, and so they're both super interesting to me, and we're kind of sitting a little bit in both now, and I think we'll be more and more in the first version, and continue to be deeply in the second.
Okay. So as a tech industry leader, what do you think the future of tech is, and also what do you think the future of Logitech is?
Well, I think the future of tech is that tech is not going to be an industry. It's going to be every industry. It's going to be part of everything. If you're in the clothing business or you're in the hair salon business, if you go far enough out, everything's going to be technology enabled. And I think tech. It's one of the reasons why if you look at our products now, you'll see that they no longer have the word the tech on Logitech.
Yeah, it's just LOGI.
Yeah, we just dropped the tech because we thought one day people are going to say, why are you saying tech? It's like repetitive. Of course you're tech. Everything's in tech. So we dropped it. We leave it for our B2B projects and for the company name, but for the logo, a little bit like the Nike swoosh, we just have Logi. And that was really because I believe that tech is going into everything. So I guess at the end of the day, I think the future of the world and tech is that tech will be part of everything and everything will be part of tech. When you think about Logitech, I think we'll be a surprisingly large company with a surprising amount both on the consumer side and the B2B side. People might know us most for Logitech G, where we'll be gaming and creating, and then they might use us most in their work setting because they'll be experiencing all the things we do in conference rooms and meeting spaces and at workspaces. So So I think we're going to be bigger and bigger in both. We're going to add more and more categories, and we might add more brands from time to time. But I think most of it would be Logitech.
Nice. That's awesome. And you mentioned gaming. All the teens watching right now, even I play video games, so we love Logitech for that.
Well, thank you. We love gamers, and we really doubled down on gaming when I got here 10 years ago, and it was a very simple reason. I have 3 kids. All 3 of them were gamers.
Mm-hmm.
They said, Dad, when you get into Logitech, you need to change the direction of the company because they're not focused on gaming, because the products aren't very good anymore. And so I believed them, and we immediately moved a whole bunch of resources into gaming, and we've never stopped. So we went from like a $60 million business to a $1.2 billion business in 10 years.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Super exciting, and I'm really thankful to my kids. So, one of the realities that I see, and you know this, but maybe it's nice to hear from an adult who's sitting in the industry, in this industry. You are sitting on the future. You know the future better than I do. The cohort, for the age group that you live in, is experiencing the future before anybody else. Sometimes even younger than you. So Roblox and Snap years ago, and the next generation of things that you're starting to find interesting is probably going to be the future. And once you're out in the work world, you'll lose touch a little bit with that future. You need to find a way to stay connected. Kids is a great one, but you need to find other ways too.
Mm-hmm. Actually, we're talking about that. Let's talk about your thoughts on ChatGPT. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on that?
I was just everybody's been talking about that all the time. I was just talking to an entrepreneur about that. I think it's just incredibly exciting. OpenAI is one of the most game-changing projects I've ever seen. And it's just pulling forward the world you knew would exist, but it's available now. And exactly. I think it's just so exciting. It'll be interesting to see how teachers deal with it. Because you can now write papers without doing anything.
If my teachers are watching this, we shouldn't be saying that.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't be saying that. But if you are watching these teachers, I have an idea for you. Sorry, students. I know all of you are going to hate me for this. I'm not talking to your teachers. I'm just talking to you. If I were a teacher, I would say, okay, from now on, you're only going to write your papers in class, live, by hand.
Oh, I see. Because then you can confirm they're not using the AI.
Yeah, that would be the way to go. But I don't think that should be the only way, because I think the use of tools like ChatGPT will be so important that your ability to use them and how you use them will be just almost maybe more important long term than the ability to write a paper. Mm-hmm. So I think I don't want to get trapped, walking backwards into the future. I think ChatGPT and OpenAI in general is going to unlock a whole world of things that you're going to grow up in. I didn't. And so you're going to find new ways to use that you'll humanize them and make sure that they're not just robots that are running out of control around us, and that it really is an extension of human capability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's probably a lot of students engaged right now because you were talking about school and stuff. Actually, one of my buddies from school, Pranav, he has a question for you.
Okay. And
he's one of my audience members also. He was wondering. I'm excited to ask you this too. He's wondering what a day in the life is like of being like a tech CEO. We've heard stories of you work super hard, you get up early in the morning, you do all this stuff, and it's like a very hard life. But I'm talking to one right now, so can you tell us?
Yeah, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's miserable.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
It's
I thought you were being serious. I was gonna I don't know. I thought Bracken was a positive guy.
No, it's amazing. It's the best job in the world. For me, I think being a writer would be a great job. Being a podcaster is a great job, but it is an amazing job. First thing, I get up early, but not because I have to. It's because I'm a morning person. And you don't have to be a morning person to be a CEO. So for all you night people out there, you absolutely can be a CEO. And you don't have to suddenly shift and become a morning person. I happen to get up early. It's in my DNA. So I get up, about 5:30. I love basketball. I'm a basketball fanatic.
Show them the ball.
I swore I would bring this in. Special gift from a friend of mine with my name on it. So if you find this, please don't take it. It would be hard work to get that name off there too. But I'm a basketball fanatic, so I try to play basketball, 5 times a week, and some of those are in the morning. So I'll play first thing in the morning. Then I always have meetings, and I'm kind of an exception right now, but when I'm in town, I always try to go in the office at least for a little bit. Mm-hmm. We're just trying to get experience doing there, but generally we're pretty comfortable with remote work, so most people are not going to the office regularly. So I will have meetings, either virtual meetings or physical meetings, off and on all day long. And then usually I have some work that I have to do, which is kind of like writing a paper, you know, and sometimes it's like writing a paper, sometimes it's reading and evaluating a proposal. But more often than not, my job is human. It's about talking to people, listening really well, trying to understand what they're up to or what they're thinking or what they're proposing and how I can help. And then sometimes, you know, when two people are in disagreement on something, I need to get involved because at the CEO level, there's nobody else above you, so you have to make decisions. And the decisions I make tend not to be very data-driven because those decisions are usually made by my team. It's when it's judgment calls that I get involved.
Got it. I'm glad you were joking. I actually for like 2 seconds I thought you said you actually thought it was miserable, but
No.
You're one of the coolest CEOs ever. As we wrap up here, these are the last 2 questions that I asked all my guests.
Okay.
The first one is, what's your best advice for teens?
Well, I'm going to give advice that looks out a little bit. You know, this is going to probably fall flat on 90% of your audience, but there will be 10% that might say, "Wow, okay, I'll do that." My 2 pieces of advice are: number 1 is set goals. I don't really care what goals you set; just set some goals. You know,
Yeah.
Goals are free. Nobody will charge you for them. There's no licensing fee. And you know, if you decide you have conviction around those goals, there's almost nothing you can't do. And maybe there is nothing you can't do, but certainly there's almost nothing. So if you set the goal and you say, "I really want that," you'll start trying to figure out how to do it. And that's the second part of my suggestion, which is always be cultivating new areas you're interested in as one of the goals in your life. Be curious. Just always try to discover new things. That will serve you so well because when you learn new things, you don't realize it often, but you're learning new systems, new paradigms, new analogies. And when you apply those to a space that other people haven't applied it to at all or not much, you end up with a new creative idea or a new way of looking at things that can uncover an insight. So 2 suggestions: have goals, be curious.
I love that advice, and I'm going to implement that more in my life. Last question of the day is, what was your favorite part of being on the Ochakde show?
I think it was the fact that you're holding my basketball right now.
Oh, and you don't want me to?
No, I like that.
Oh,
That's my
okay.
favorite part. I feel like we're now connected. You know,
We are,
now
we
we're
are.
going to go one-on-one.
We are.
That's a challenge. If you're up for it,
Sure. We
you
can.
and me, one-on-one.
One-on-one? I mean,
Public setting. All your audience can come. Are you good?
yeah, I could do that. I mean, you could come to, do you want to come to Fremont or should I come here?
I'll come to Fremont. No, we don't have a basketball goal here, so we'll have to go to somewhere where there's a basketball goal. But you and me, one-on-one. If you're good, you have to give me points. If I'm better than you are, I'll give you points.
Okay.
We'll handicap this somehow, and then we'll place a bet, and you don't have to pay anything. But if I lose, I'll give my money to charity, the charity of your choice. If I win, I'll think of something for you that you have to do.
Okay. Wait. I can edit this part out. You're being serious, right?
Absolutely, I'm serious.
Okay, awesome. Let's do
All
it.
right. Okay.
Let's do
good.
it. All right, guys. Well, I think this was like a phenomenal episode. That's why you should hit the subscribe button. Shouldn't they hit the subscribe button?
I would definitely. I will subscribe.
Okay.
I'm not subscribed. I haven't subscribed yet, but I'm going to.
Yeah, you know, I literally just like cold called the CEO of Logitech, and he's like, "Who is this?" And I explained myself, and he's like, "Yeah, I actually can't do it today, but we can do it in the future." And I remember he told me that. And I'm like, "What?" He actually said yes. He actually said yes, and then he connected me with this amazing executive assistant called Elizabeth. She's amazing, and we got it set up, and I'm here today, and we made it happen. So thank you.
Well, you're amazing. I'm so impressed to be on your podcast, and I'm proud to be a part of it. So anything I can do to help you in the future, let me know.
Cool. All right, guys. I'll see you next time. Peace.
One-on-one.
One-on-one. We'll do it.
All right.
We'll actually do it.